Hey, welcome back to another Subie World video. Today, we're going to be going over the new 2019 Subaru Forester. This year, it did get a complete body remodel along with a lot of refinements that just makes it a much better vehicle for road trips and doing things around town. So, let's jump right into it. We're going to start under the hood and start going over some of the features with the new 2.5 liter Boxer engine. The 2019 Subaru Forester did have one major change. You can no longer get the 2.0 liter XT turbo engine as an option. They did get rid of it because it just wasn't selling enough. People didn't want to go and get the better engine and have to put premium gas in it, get the worst gas mileage. It wasn't a good option. So what Subaru did instead was that they added an SI drive to the ECM. What that does is it changes the way the vehicle shifts and responds to throttle input, making it quicker to pass and quicker to merge on the highway. It really is a good system, and I think that a lot of Subaru owners will find it is a good substitute to the 2.0 liter XT engine. Now, the new engine is getting about 26 miles per gallon around town and 33 on the highway for a combined mileage of about 29 miles per gallon. Then some safety features that this engine has, it has a breakaway engine design. In the event that you have a really bad front end accident, the engine is going to be forced to go down and underneath the car instead of going straight back into the passenger compartment. It adds a little bit of safety to the vehicle. And then another safety feature that they have that's just inherent with every Subaru, not just the Forester, is the 2.5 liter Boxer engine. Well, really just the Boxer engine design is got a very low center of gravity. Instead of the engine being in a V shape where it fires in an upward manner or an inline manner where it's firing straight up and down, where the engine is pretty much at the top of your engine bay, this one, the Boxer engine, is actually about 6 to 8 inches lower than the top of the engine bay. And then the most of the weight is below that point, actually. So it has a very low center of gravity, and it's going to not be very rollover prone and very well planted on the road. It'll give you a lot of confidence while making turns and with your handling. So I'm going to grab the camera and I'm going to show you some of the really convenient features about the new engines and the new engine bays for Subaru. They've done a few things that just make switching light bulbs, doing oil changes, switching your oil filter or engine filter for the air is just much easier than it ever has been. Some of your regular maintenance items are going to be extremely easy to maintain with your new Subaru. This holds true for actually most of their models, as their engine bay stays very, very similar amongst them all. So we'll start off with the oil filter. Oil filter is going to be on the driver's side top of the engine, extremely accessible. So doing an oil change is literally dropping the drain plug in the oil pan underneath the engine, draining the system top to bottom, then replacing your oil filter, since this will now be empty, replacing the drain plug, and then refilling the system. Should take about 15 minutes. Then, doing your headlights should also be very easy. You shouldn't have to take anything off. You might have to wiggle your arm into a little bit of a tight area, but for the most part, I could do these without having any trouble. Then, batteries out in the open. A lot of new car manufacturers are putting these under seats in the back area where your spare tire should be. And this one instead is right out in the open where you can replace it or jump the vehicle if you absolutely need to. Finally, the engine filters on the passenger side, very easy to access. Replace it in literally about 5 minutes. The 2019 Subaru Forester looks good. I think Subaru did a great job changing the look and feel of this vehicle. Now, I just want to take a couple minutes to go over some of the changes and some of the features that the 19 Forester does have. So, the first change that they've done is that no matter what level of the vehicle you got, whether you got the base version of the car or the touring version of the vehicle, is it's going to have LED headlights. Even better, if you get the limited or above, so anything with leather interior or higher has steering responsive headlights. So if you make a left-hand turn or a right-hand turn, the headlights will pivot with you to light up the corner that you're turning towards. Now the next thing that they have is the heated elements. Subaru goes above and beyond to give their consumer a very easy car to use in the winter. So they have heated wiper blade sills. What happens is when you push that button to defog or defrost your back window in your side view mirrors, that button will also activate the heating elements in the glass of the window to melt ice and snow away from your wipers. So I guess you can throw away that ice pick. Then, like I just mentioned, the mirrors are heated and the back window is heated, along with the seats. The seats come heated as long as you go with the premium or above. Then, Subaru did change the style of wheels this year. So this is a touring wheel, and then that is the aluminum alloy wheel that comes on the base version of the car. The premium does have a slightly different wheel. Each car, each Subaru Forester will have disc brakes. Disc brakes just stop better, they're easier to maintain. It is a better system, so I think you'll be happy to hear that. And then we did move the mirrors a couple of years back. We moved the mirrors from the corner of the glass on the door to the door. And yeah, it worked. It worked when it was here, but it's much better here. This, you will find that when you're stopped at a stoplight, you will see people wanting to cross the road from your peripherals a lot easier than when you're parking your car or backing up out of a parking spot. This does make a huge difference. So I think you'll like that also. Then, as you notice, I have the base in the back, the base Forester. And it does not have any privacy glass. But on the touring, it does have privacy glass. So anything that's not the base model Forester, you will get the privacy glass. Now, that being said, we can add privacy glass to any base model car. And it's a pretty simple process. It will take about a day. So that pretty much wraps up all the changes on the front end of the vehicle and the side of the vehicle. And I'm going to move to the back and go over some of the features there. So here we are at the back of the 2019 Subaru Forester. And this year that Subaru's done a lot of things that I think are huge improvements. So first off, they did LED taillights. These aren't going to burn out and they're a lot brighter, so you shouldn't have to worry about replacing them. Now they did keep the backup, your reverse light and your turn signal still a regular bulb, so you might have to replace those from time to time. You still have a backup camera standard on every Forester. That changed in about 2014. And then the final improvement that they really made a big difference to is the power tailgate, which is standard on anything limited and above, and then optional on the premium, is much faster than it ever has been. In the past, it took about 7 seconds for the tailgate to open. Now, it's already done. Thank you, Subaru. You're going to make a lot of people happier with this faster tailgate. Now we're sitting in the Touring, and this vehicle has the power rear folding seats. They're very nice because all you do is flip a switch and both sides will fold down. With the seats up, you have about 33 cubic feet of space. With the seats down, 71 cubic feet of space. This vehicle does have the cargo cover, which is just there to keep things a little bit safer. If you go Christmas shopping, you can hide things under this and not have to worry about anybody peeping in and seeing what you bought. Then, on all the Foresters, the spare tire is in the back underneath the back deck. All you do to get to it is lift up on this bottom carpet. You'll find you have extra storage underneath here that you can put whatever you please in. And then you lift up on this styrofoam piece, which is your extra storage, and you're going to find your spare tire. Your spare tire has all the tools on the inside of the wheel of it, And it's on the inside, which means you don't have to fight with rusted components or worry about somebody stealing this while you're parked at the airport. Much nicer system than your typical. And that's another thing I want to bring up, is a lot of car manufacturers are switching to fix-a-flat systems, which means you get basically a tire patch and an air compressor for the side of the road. Not the best system. So be mindful when you're shopping for a new car, whether it has an actual spare tire. So these are some of the core features that every Subaru Forester has, except for the power rear tailgate and the power folding rear seats. But we're going to go on to the inside of the vehicle, and I'm going to show you things such as the Eyesight, the navigation, the radio, where the heated seats are, and we're going to wrap this up. Here we are inside the 2019 Forester's interior, and just like the Ascent, just like the Impreza, Subaru, you did a fantastic job on this. The seats are more comfortable. I love the two-tone interiors. I love the layout of this. A more comfortable Subaru has not been made yet. So with all these changes, I wanted to walk through kind of where everything is and all the available options that you can get on your Forester. Now, I'm not saying all these options are going to be on your Forester, but I do want to make you aware that you can get them. So we're going to start on the left, move right, and then at the end, I'm going to wrap up with recapping on X mode, Eyesight, and the Moonroof. And then that will pretty much wrap up the 2019 Forester. So let's get started. On the left-hand side, you will have optional memory seating. So if you have two different drivers that are constantly using the vehicle, you can set up two different positions for the seat so that you can quickly move between them when you jump in and out of the vehicle. On the left-hand side, behind the steering wheel, you will also have your headlight control, which we do have automatic headlights. On the left-hand side spoke of the steering wheel, you will have all your radio controls. And on the right-hand spoke, you will have all your cruise control and adaptive cruise control settings. On the 4 to 5 o'clock position of your steering wheel, you're going to have your heated steering wheel option. And then on the right-hand side stick, you will have your wiper blade controls, which we do not have rain-sensing wipers yet. Up top, you're going to have your Eyesight cameras, which you do not need to maintain whatsoever. You do not need to clean. You will have your Starlink button in case you're ever into an accident, and your roadside assistance buttons up here. You'll also have your Eyesight on and off buttons, and we'll go over when to turn those on and off in another video. And then down below, for the first time ever, we have the part of the Eyesight system, and only available on the Touring Forester, is the driver distraction mitigation system. And what it does is, when you jump into the vehicle and you're driving, if you're distracted or you're getting tired, it's going to be paying attention to you and warning you. And then on top of that, it'll recognize two different drivers and start building two different profiles for your different settings, so that when you get into the vehicle, it already knows that you're here, and it's going to start changing the vehicle to work for you. And I think that the more in-depth that system gets, it's going to be a very cool system to pay attention to in the upcoming years. Right below the camera that does that, you're going to have the screen. And the screen up there is going to give you information as to what's going on with the vehicle. How many miles till empty. A clock. It's going to have your Eyesight systems, which ones are on and off. It will also have a traction control screen along with weather and radio and navigation directions, all up there on that little auxiliary screen. Down below, you will have your radio here, and each one of the Foresters does have a touchscreen radio, and they are all different sizes depending on what options you get with the vehicle. Now, they all use the same operating system. They all use the Starlink Multimedia 3.1 generation system, and all of them have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is a huge upgrade from the past. They are all touchscreen, like I had mentioned, and they work identical to like a cell phone. So you can click and drag and rearrange your layout of the screen. And once you pair your phone and get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto working, it is seamless. It works just like your cell phone. Extremely good system, the best Subaru's ever had. You'll absolutely love this. Come on in and we can have your phone working with it in 2 minutes, and you can see how easy it is to work with. Down below, you're going to have your climate control. Now, on the Touring Forester, you do have dual climate control, so I can have 2 separate temperatures. But on some of the lower models, you will just have single climate control, where you set it to 72 and it holds that temperature all year round, just like your house. Down below that, you're going to have your gear shifter, which is hooked up to a CVT transmission. CVT transmissions are extremely good for gas mileage, and they've been proving themselves to be fantastic when in the term of reliability. So, very good transmission to have in this car. You'll also have your parking brake down here, along with auto vehicle hold on and off button, X mode button, and then your heated seats and 2 cup holders, along with 2 cup holders in each of the doors, automatic windows in the front, and then power door locks on both sides. So that pretty much wraps up just kind of the layout of the new Forester. Now we're going to dig into X mode, Eyesight, and then the Moonroof. So here we have the parking brake, auto vehicle hold, X mode, and your heated seats. So parking brake, you pull up to engage it, it turns on, and then you put your foot on the brake and push down on it and it'll turn off. Auto vehicle hold will hold the vehicle at a stoplight, so you basically approach the stoplight, rest your foot on the brake, come to a complete stop, hold it there for a few moments, and then you can let off the brake and it will stay stationary until you touch the gas again, in which it will release the gas at that point. X mode is an extra cautious traction control. Push for it to be in normal mode. Then you spin it left to put it in snow and dirt mode, which is just for your average snow and dirt in a bad situation or a semi-bad weather condition. This mode is only good up till about 18 miles an hour, and then it'll shut off at 20. But what it'll do is it'll assist you with braking downhill so that you don't, stab the brake and just start sliding. And then it'll help you with your throttle uphill so that you don't stab the gas and just spin the tires trying to climb a steep incline. Spin it to the right for deep snow and dirt, and then it gets even more cautious. You can do this on the fly, and I've found it's very helpful on snowy parking garages or anytime you're going off-road. It actually makes a dramatic difference. But then to return into normal mode, just push it. And then you have normal toggle on and off heated seats. High and low settings with the optional for heated seats in the rear also. For 2019, Subaru made Eyesight standard on every Forester. This is great news because it is an amazing system. What Eyesight does is it will help you avoid an accident without you needing to tell the vehicle to avoid the accident. It's basically like a second set of eyes. So what it is it's these 2 forward-facing cameras in the windshield. There's one on each side of the mirror. And what those cameras do is that they will triangulate the position of your vehicle to the vehicle in front of you. Now, if the vehicle in front of you starts stopping and you're distracted, you're paying attention to the kids in the back or whatever it may be, there's so much going on these days, and the vehicle in front of you stops and you don't notice, it will come to a stop to avoid having an accident with that person. Now, it's not just that system. If you set cruise control, say at 70 miles an hour and the car in front of you is doing 55, it will match their speed. You can tell it to keep you at a safe distance, and once they leave your lane, it'll resume 70 miles an hour like you had it set at without any driver interaction. And then the final thing that Eyesight's going to do is if you leave your lane and you didn't signal, you didn't turn your turn signal on, it's going to think that you're distracted. Eyesight is going to step in and start giving you audible beeps and a flashing light on your gauge display, letting you know that, hey, you left your lane and you didn't signal. So that is going to be the main 3 features of the Eyesight system for the cameras. Now, Eyesight does get coupled with a few other things in the back. There is reverse automatic braking sensors, which use ultrasonic sensors. Those are optional. There is also blind spot detection, which uses a radar-based system that's optional. And then there is also a rear cross-traffic alert system, which uses the same radar sensors that the blind spot detection uses. So to go over those really quick, the reverse automatic braking is really simple. The ultrasonic sensors that are built into the back bumper, if they notice you're getting too close to something, it will automatically put the brakes on to avoid backing into whatever it may be. The blind spot detection, the radar sensors, when you go to put your turn signal on, if there's a car back here, there will be a light on the inside of the mirror lit up to let you know there's a car back here. Now, if you still don't notice this light and you put that turn signal on, this light will start strobing at you to let you know that, you should really pay attention to the car that's back here. So that's what blind spot detection will do. Now, like I said, blind spot detection, the radar sensors are going to be having a double purpose, and when you go to put the car in reverse, those same sensors turn on in the back of the vehicle and they start sensing what's going on back there further than just the immediate distance, which is handled by the ultrasonic sensors. So those radar sensors reach out and they will tell you if someone's coming down your street or if someone's coming down that alley or the aisle that you're backing up into. So you're in a parking lot, or like I said, you're in your driveway. If someone's coming down the road, it's going to start warning you about that person. And the even better thing about it is it's radar, so it's looking for large moving objects. So, your cat's, yes, it would be nice to know that your cat would trigger it, but it's going to tell you about the big things in life, the big cars, the big, whatever it may be, a tree. That's what that system's designed for. So I just don't want anybody getting confused on what it can and cannot do. But that pretty much wraps up Eyesight, and it is a fantastic system. It's one of the highest rated on the market amongst all its competing competitors. So take a look at it. Do a little more research on it. There's so much information that I could go on for another hour on just Eyesight alone. But next we're going to go over the Moonroof, and that's pretty much it on the 19 Forester. And then the Moonroof. Who wouldn't want one of these? It's huge. It does stretch back to about the second row. It doesn't have a lot of wind noise or any wind coming into the vehicle either because of this windscreen up front. This is a great feature to have, and better yet, it comes on every single Forester except for the base. How could you go wrong? Thanks for watching. I really hope that this was helpful in teaching you about the new 2019 Subaru Forester. I'm excited about this vehicle. I think Subaru really knocked it out of the park. And if you do have any questions or concerns that I didn't cover, please feel free to reach out to me, leave a question in the comments below. If this video was helpful to you, please like, and if you want, subscribe to my channel, as I will be doing more videos on everything Subaru related in the near future. But thank you again for watching, and have a great day.